news to understand how you're going to understand what we're going to speak about. The second one was the 6 reasons a person gets married. The third one, is it wajib to get married? Is it wajib? What's the hukm of getting married? What's the ruling of getting married? Let's put this in another way. I'll put this in another way. If you're a full-time student, living at home with your parents, and have got a part-time job. You're a full-time student with a part-time job, living at home with your parents. What's the ruling of getting married in that situation? What do you think? It's a question. I'm just an honest question to you. You're a full-time student with a part-time job, living at home with your mum and dad. That's your situation. What's the ruling to get married in that situation? Not allowed. How old are you? 17. You're a full-time student. Okay. Have you got a part-time job? Not yet. Do you all agree with him?
I've got a student here.
Wait, do you agree with him? You can think. I'm asking for what you think. I'm not asking you for I'm not looking for the right answer. I'm not expecting you to have the right answer. I'm asking what you think. As a person, now you've come to this talk on marriage. It's a talk on marriage, isn't it? Why have you come?
Does it not depend on the person?
Okay, elaborate a bit.
Like, let's say you're a university student and you're working part-time and you're living with your parents. If your house is of a decent size, then maybe culturally they don't mind you living with your wife in the house. Perhaps it would be okay, but maybe in some cases it's not. Or
That sounds like a good answer. It's not the same for everybody. It depends on a number of factors you have to take into consideration. But generally speaking, looking at the Sharia, all of it, looking at the obligations upon the husband as a husband to provide for his wife, and looking at other factors, then you'd say that it would be in that situation makruh to get married. That's what you'd say just initially, without other factors and circumstances taking place. If, for example, though, there's support by the family, there's space in the house, the woman herself is accepting of less nafaqah or no nafaqah at all, then it changes the situation. So, generally speaking, when it comes to getting married, the scholars say, and this is from the Maliki madhab, and a lot of the contemporary scholars say the same thing, that it comes under all 5 of those rulings. Sometimes it might be wajib to get married. Sometimes it might be mustahab to get married, or the asl is that it's mustahab to get married. Sometimes it might be makruh for you to get married, sometimes it could be haram for you to get married. What does mustahab mean? It's recommended. Wajib means obligatory. Makruh means disliked, you shouldn't do it. Eating or an action which is makruh when you're in your salah is doing what? Looking up, for example. Or not looking up, that's a bad example. What's an action makruh in your salah?
speaking.
No, speaking nullifies your salah. Moving a lot, fidgeting a lot is makruh. Let's go say moving a lot, fidgeting a lot is makruh. Means that it's disliked, you shouldn't do it. And then you have haram, which everyone knows, means that if you do it, you're committing a sin, you're under threat of punishment. So anyway, it comes under one of the 5. The first, when is it wajib to get married? It's wajib to get married when the person has the ability to do it, and if he doesn't get married, he's afraid he's going to fall into zina. Meaning that there's a high chance of him falling into zina if he doesn't get married. And he's got the ability to do it. Ability, what does that mean? It means 2 things. Physical ability and financial ability. I.e., nafaqah is an obligation, he has to have the financial ability. The financial ability, it means the mahar, firstly. What's the mahar? It's the bridal gift that you give to your wife when you get married. Okay, it depends. Some people have a expensive mahar. Alhamdulillah, mine wasn't bad at all. I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't more than like £100 or something. As a matter of fact, listen to this. I wanted it to be less. I'm in the masjid, we're putting a masjid upon the Quran and upon the Sunnah, and we go for the easy mahar. And so I said, I'll give my wife like a book. How much? £2 or something for the book. Something nice and easy and small. But the imam that was doing it, he says no. He says give money and give something which, you know. So I was a student like yourself, full-time student at university, working part-time. That's when I got married at the age of 23 or something. So I was a full-time student at university, so I thought, okay, I'll give you £100. She said, okay, and we said, Bismillah. We didn't act in the car. We got married, alhamdulillah. Any case, the mahar, it depends. Some mahar, they say they want £5,000. Some say they want £100. Some say they want less than that. Point is, ability to get married means you have the ability to pay the mahar. And following from that, you have the ability to pay for the expenses of your wife. Food, clothing, nafaqah. That's an obligation upon the man. A man in Islam is the provider. And he's not much of a man if he doesn't do much providing, generally speaking. So that's when it's wajib to get married. When is it haram to get married? And keep me on track for time, please. When is it haram to get married? We said when a person is marrying, number 5. That's one time when it's haram. Is there any other times when it's haram to get married?
Your kids will be affected. If you live in a place where you can't practice your religion, your kids won't be able to be raised on Islam, or they will be corrupted from Islam.
No, it's more to do with the fiqh. It's haram to get married when the person you're marrying is mahram for you. For example, a cousin or not a cousin, someone who's mahram for you, for example. Then it's impermissible to get married in that situation. Those are the general times when it's haram to get married. When is it recommended to get married? This is the asl. Marriage is sunnah, recommended. When a person does not fear committing zina, he has the financial and physical ability, and so another time when it's haram to get married, it's not his final illness, i.e. marad al-maut. Marad al-maut, when you're about to die, you can't just get married to a woman at that time. Why? What's the mushkila? What's the problem? Why can't you get married when you're about to die? It might seem like a good thing to do. Go out happily. Huh? No, that's not the issue.
I want to say I love you.
No, what's the reason?
Because you're not going to provide for them.
No, it's the opposite. You might have wealth that they're going to inherit. That's the ishkal, that's the mushkila.
You might not be able to follow your...
The problem's not that.
It's not for
The problem is that when you're on your deathbed, your money, who has your inheritors have more right to your money than you do at that moment in time. If your inheritors are more than one, then the maslahah looks at the majority, not the minority in Islam. And at that point, the maslahah is for your inheritors, not for you. So by marrying somebody else, what are you doing to them? You're decreasing their inheritance. So to marry someone at the time of death is also considered, on your final time of death is also considered impermissible. Anyway, so it's mandub, it's recommended to get married when 3 things are there. You don't commit zina, because if you did, it would be wajib. You have the ability to do so, and you're also not in final illness. Then it's makruh to get married when you're unable to fulfill your marital obligations. It's makruh to get married when you're unable to fulfill your marital... Okay, now you're going to say, well, there's fitna outside, what am I supposed to do? What we're supposed to do is follow the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When he addressed the shabab, he said, Ya ma'shar al-shabab, man istata'a minkum al-ba' falyatazawwaju. Whoever is whoever can facilitate marriage, then get married. Whoever's got the ability to get married, then get married. فَمَنْ لَمْ يَسْتَطِعْ فَعَلَيْهِ بِالصَّوْمِ. Whoever can't get married, then he has to fast. It's not the case that everybody has the capacity to get married, because they might not have the financial ability. If you don't have the financial ability to get married, then you have to lower your gaze. You have to avoid the places of fitna. You have to not go out to the market. Stay in your house. Stay in the masjid. Huh? Don't go Westfield, in Stratford, or in Bush, or the new one's going to open in Croydon whenever it opens up. Stay away from the places of fitna. That's it. Don't put yourself in the middle of the fire, thinking you won't get burnt. Thinking my iman is qawi. I'm strong, I'm a Muslim, I've got Allah, he knows he's going to come near me, I'm not going to fall into fitna. Don't do that. Because you're going to fall into zina. It's going to happen. We're ordered to not come close to zina. La taqrabu zina. Don't come close to zina. Don't say don't commit zina. Allah tells us don't come close to zina. How do you not come close to zina? Stay away from free mixing. Stay away from seclusion with the opposite sex. Stay away from places where you're outnumbered by the beauty of the woman around you. and you'll be dazzled. Stay away from those places so you can protect yourself from zina, because the punishment of zina is severe, it's not light. Anyway, so these are the ahkam. Okay, this varies from a person to a person. So when the scholars, bear in mind, when you come across a talk and the scholar says it's mustahab to get married, then he means it's mustahab for the person that has the ability, who doesn't fear for himself zina, and it isn't something which is haram for him to do. That's what he means. He means those conditions. He may not elaborate, but that's what's intended, because it may, at some cases, it may be makruh for the person to get married. What if a person wants to take a second wife? He's already married. I know not many of you are already married, but a person wants to take a second wife because he's already married. What's the hukum? That's the question. To this brother that might want to take a second wife. What's the ruling? It goes back to those 5. If you want to take a second wife, it goes back to those 5. It may be wajib for you to take a second wife. It may be makruh. It may be mustahab. It may be haram for you to take a second wife if it's marad al-maut and trying to enter her onto your inheritors. Is that understood? I've got one question for you, then you can answer questions. I've got pages to cover. We're going to pick one of them and the rest we'll leave for another time, or maybe I'll email them out to you. Topic: what are the essentials for a valid marriage contract? But keep that in your mind. Topic: will you be my bae? I.e. how to pop the question. Topic 3: 2 general tips on relationships between the spouses. Topic number 4: what husband are you? What type of husband will you be? Because you're not married yet. What type of husband will you be? Those are the 4 topics. Which one shall we cover? They have to choose. You're with us. Which topic? Okay, hands up. Hands up for the actual. How do you ask a bae to be my bae? How to perform a marriage contract? Hands up, please. How to perform the marriage contract? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's not many.
Don't want a bae, man.
No. The last one was, what type of husband will you be? Okay, what type of husband will you be? Put your hands up.
Are you gonna come in with a rose on your mouth and be like?
Next one. Will you be my bae? Put your hands up. Okay, alhamdulillah, that's the shortest one anyway, so it makes good sense.